Hey, welcome to your Sagittarius horoscopes for the week of October 15th through the 21st. And we have some moon action coming in this week, starting towards the end of the day on Tuesday, and the moon coming into your sign in an opposition with Uranus does create a little bit of conflict there. Uranus's focus is on those you love. The moon's focus is on your support system, actually right on the cusp of your support system as it moves into focus on trauma, which is really where Sagittarius is focused this week, which is unpleasant. We all take a bite out of that sandwich, though. There's a couple of things that I see coming up with this for you guys. The first one is it does feel really crappy when you support everybody around you. And Sagittarians put a lot of energy into supporting all the people around them. And when you need the support, it's just not there for whatever reason. And yes, you can look at it for what it is and justify that these people are busy doing other things that you understand. It still feels crappy. And really, I feel like the big issue here is not so much an ego issue as more of a really spending some time focusing on whether or not the energy that you're putting out is being matched, if that makes sense. Now, parents with their children go through this all the time. And you know what? We went through it with our parents because it really was the same thing. Your kids grow up, you do all this stuff for them, you sacrifice your entire life to raise them, and then they become adults and just disappear. Now you need help. They should be there to help you. They're too busy with their friends, they're too busy with their job, they're too busy with all the things that they're doing. It feels crappy. It really does feel crappy. At the same time, though, we don't help people in order to get them to help us. That's not why we're doing it. At least that's if you're doing it from the heart, obviously that's not going to work, right? So if you are doing things for other people specifically so that you can make sure that you have people available when you need help, that's really not the right way to do it, and that is going to come back to bite you in the behind eventually. And yes, we're all pretty much in some way, shape, or form guilty of that one. The Sun square with Saturn is also a little bit of a challenge because it reminds you that this problem is not a new problem. This has happened before. So it's doubly even more important to make sure that you're looking at what you're doing in the right way. If you're there to support other people, that's great. Make sure you're supporting them because it's the right thing to do and not because you're trying to make sure that someone is there for you when you need support. And again, the universe has a tendency to do this. The universe has a tendency to take away your support when you're not supposed to rely on somebody else. This is your lesson and nobody else can help you with it. And as frustrating as that is, and trust me, I've been in that situation so many times, as frustrating as that is, it's necessary. A lot of the time I've seen where no one could help me out with that. This was something that I had to work through on my own. So in many cases and in many situations that I've been in, it came down to me. I could talk to as many people, I could get advice from as many people, I could have people actively helping me without me making the choice to do the things that needed to be done in order to get to that point. It wasn't going to work no matter how much help I had. As we move into Wednesday, the moon does move into a square with Venus. Venus is focused on long-term goals. The moon is now focused directly in that trauma space. So to me, I interpret this as being a challenge when old mindsets are driving the bus here, specifically around your long-term goals, specifically around the creativity around your long-term goals. How many people set goals and say, okay, this is what I'm going to do? And then your brain starts to go, yeah, you've tried this before and it didn't work. Yeah, you know you're going to be lazy and unmotivated and you're not going to achieve these goals. Yeah, you know you're just not going to put the work into it that you say you're going to. Blah, 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 blah. If that has happened, okay then. But when your brain is literally bashing you like that, chances are you're not going to go much further in those goals. If another person was bashing you, you'd probably do it just to spite them. But when it's yourself, it's a completely different energy that doesn't necessarily resonate quite as well. As we move into Thursday, a couple of really cool things happen. First of all, the moon moves into a grand sextile with Saturn, as well as the sun and Mercury, which are in complete conjunction with each other at this particular point. The sun and Mercury are focused on career. Saturn continues to be focused on the past and your responsibilities to that past. Yes, you can't change the past, but you can take responsibility over how that past is affecting you. And this is where the moon is really going to be helpful, because the moon's focus now is on you. So it's showing you where you've been, and it's showing you where you're going, and it's showing you just how much responsibility you're putting into that. And that's really the big thing there. The moon is in a square with Neptune at this point, and Neptune's very much focused on the mind and how the mind works. Now, we all know the Sagittarian brain. The Sagittarian brain goes a bazillion miles a minute. And in many cases, that means you're very smart and very intellectual. In many cases, that means that you're spending way too much time distracting yourself. So this is where all of this is going to go wrong, when your brain is just too busy bopping into all these different places, and it's making you confused and you can't really focus on what you need to do. So basically, bottom line is meditation, meditation, meditation to help you basically clear your mind, get focused on what you need to do, and just do what you got to do. Here's the thing. It doesn't matter how many goals you have not met in your life, you can still meet this one. And what you did in the past doesn't necessarily have anything to do with what you're going to do now, unless you let it. That really is the lesson here. So that's what I have for you guys this week. If you love your horoscopes, do click the link in the description and send me a copy. That is my tip and donation link, and I would really, really appreciate that. If you're listening rather than viewing, that's ko-fi.com/heavy metal psychic. Also check out heavymetalpsychic.com. Lots of stuff going on there on the website. It is in transition. We are rolling out a brand new website here coming up, but there is still a lot of interesting information there on the website, including how to book time, your own personal time with the Heavy Metal Psychic. I'm Melissa Bruce, the Heavy Metal Psychic. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next week. And in the meantime, kick those goals butts. Let's do this, guys. If anybody has the energy to be successful, it is you guys. So you guys kick some butt and have a great week. I will see you next week.